Just as Ethan had thought, the skill's interface had undergone noticeable changes. The appearance of the ice ring body on his panel meant he could now use evolution points to improve it. If his evolution points hadn't already reached 0, he would have desperately wanted to take a shortcut and immediately upgrade his ice ring body from beginner to intermediate proficiency. With a mental command, Ethan activated the skill, Ice Ring Structure. After using the skill, 3 small ice shards swirled around Ethan's body. Currently, the maximum range of the swirling ice shards was still very small. Only a little over 2 meters, barely larger than the black spear in his hand. Of course, Ethan could also feel that the activity level of his internal energy increased as the ice shards circulated around him. A diligent student like Ethan never missed a single piece of knowledge taught in class. He knew that the increase in elemental energy activity meant the ultimate ice damage he would inflict would be enhanced. However, Ethan estimated that the enhancement provided by a D-level skill wouldn't be too significant. It should be around 5 to 8%. After having some free time, Ethan subconsciously looked up at the quartz clock on the ceiling of the cultivation room. It was important to remember that concentrated elemental energy could damage a mobile phone to some extent, so generally speaking, cell phones were not allowed in the meditation room. This quartz wall clock conveniently replaced the function of a mobile phone, serving as a reminder of time for customers. A fixed amount of blue star coins was spent per hour, with any fraction of an hour counted as a full hour. If there were no quartz wall clock, customers might leave at the wrong time. For example, they might leave the superpower center 1 hour and 1 minute later, but they would still have to pay for 2 hours. Who could stand that? Over time, they would develop complaints about the superpower center and switch to another facility. This was detrimental to the long-term development of a special abilities center. However, with this quartz wall clock, customers left right on time. This might even give them the idea that they could get something for nothing. By comparing it to when he first joined, Ethan realized he had been in the cultivation room for exactly 59 minutes. "I've cultivated enough, it's time for me to go out." Ethan left the cultivation room. After readily paying 400 blue star coins, Ethan exited the fighting ability hall. Once the automatic door opened, Ethan stepped outside. Not far from the fighting abilities arena was a designated parking area where his bicycle was parked. As he got closer and closer to the bicycle, to his surprise, he found a mouse next to it. Wait, was that a mouse? Was this just an ordinary house mouse? This rat had square ears and bright blue eyes. It was clearly not a normal animal. It must be a ferocious beast. A ferocious beast. Ethan felt a surge of excitement and his eyes widened. This was a vital evolution point. How could he possibly refuse it? He was just about to walk over and capture the square-eared mouse alive. However, when this square-eared rat saw that Ethan was coming, it actually crawled directly into the sewer next to it. In fact, Ethan also had the option of using his superpower burst, which would involve releasing his internal energy remotely to kill the ear rats from a distance. One advantage was speed. The burst of superpowers was a kind of bodily instinct, much faster than using skills. But the square-eared mouse was right beside its bicycle. Furthermore, Ethan had only just awakened his superpower and was still extremely unfamiliar with how to use it. If he made a move, not only would his own bicycle be destroyed, but some electric bikes parked nearby might also be damaged. Therefore, he did not take that approach. After all, once you reach the underground world, there are simply too many ferocious beasts like these. He figured he could just kill another one to compensate. There was nothing to lose. Why did ferocious beasts appear in the real world? First, it needed to be clarified that previously, the ferocious beasts had indeed come to Earth through underground passages. However, for some reason, in recent years, some ferocious beasts had appeared in the real world without warning. Moreover, the ferocious beasts that suddenly appeared were mostly like square-eared rats, which weren't particularly fierce. It was important to understand that ferocious beasts were synonymous with bloodlust and brutality. Most of them, upon first seeing a human, would regard them as food. But these suddenly appearing beasts were different. Instead of rushing up to bite humans, they ran away. The official explanation was that it was called the underground world projection, involving a bunch of spatial theories that Ethan couldn't understand at all. But Ethan always felt that the official explanation was untenable, as if something was being hidden. Perhaps he would find the answer after arriving at Shenzhen University of Superpowers and meeting more powerful individuals. Ethan shook his head slightly. He didn't dwell on it for long. He was too weak right now, and becoming stronger was his only goal.